Hello, welcome to TelecomTV. My name's Martin Warwick. We're here at the top of the BT Tower in central London on a beautiful summer's evening. It's a BT-sponsored automotive event, and this time I'm talking with Manuel, who is Sales Director at BT Global Services for BT China. Manuel, thanks for talking to us. First question to you is this. What trends is BT seeing in the automotive industry right now?
Well, basically, the trend we are seeing is all about connectivity. So more and more we're seeing the connectivity story playing out. It's basically led by the consumers wanting to be more connected. Privately, they want to be connected through their own personal devices. As they take device into the business, that's transforming the way they operate inside the companies. Companies have to adopt to that. And if you take that a step further, you start seeing that companies need to be connected as they go global. So really the situation is that companies are starting to look at connectivity as a way to expand their business, going beyond borders. So I specifically, being in China, I'm one of those recipients of those requirements where companies are coming into China to be able to grow their own business. So BT is looking at these trends quite closely at this connectivity element as the first trend. The second trend we see is around security. Again, back to the BT world and the China world. There's a lot of issues around security, especially around the IP protection and around how do we secure that designs of vehicles are not stolen. So that's the second big trend that we're seeing. The third big trend we're seeing is around the big data stuff, and big data is around more and more data is becoming available from any old device. So as you see the devices producing data, you start to question how will we start managing the big data. So we're looking at analytics tools interpreting the data from big data. And then there's obviously what we call the connected device world through the Internet of Things, where the machine-to-machine becomes a big thing. So ultimately coming from the consumer end, which is driving the entire transformation industry, taking this into the enterprise, and from there taking this into the security side of things, where cybersecurity becomes a big thing coming in the future.
We've been looking at various trends such as big data, telematics, the cloud, the connected car, the Internet of Things, M2M and so on. How is BT helping car manufacturers prepare for the opportunities that these trends are going to throw up?
Well, BT is a proven partner, proven company in the space around connectivity. I think the credentials speak for themselves. So we are very well placed. We are probably the true global partner for any enterprise wanting to go globally. Other companies play in niche markets. We provide an end-to-end service. So from the actual infrastructure layer, where we're providing some of the data network and the voice network around the application connectivity, we can go all the way up and provide cloud computing. We are able to provide information on demand. So really, we are helping businesses grow. Most of the companies today look at expansion plans, so they're looking at the emerging markets, the development markets happening. So BT is really, I think, well positioned to help those companies grow. We are where the companies are growing. We are in the markets where they are growing, so we are very close to our clients.
And how are car manufacturers deploying networked IT to drive efficiency in their own core business practices?
Well, when we talk about network IT, I think we need to step aside a little bit and talk about what do you do with a network once it's connected. I think we've moved away from just connecting the network, and the network I refer to as like sales outlets, such as dealerships or the plants or the actual headquarters of the company. So if we move away from that connectivity element, we start to look at companies starting to look at the data differently. Now that they are connected, either regionally or globally, they have access to information just in time or in real time. And their demand on the information and what you do with the information becomes different. So we are seeing a lot of the clients today taking the opportunity are being networked to start building on a lot of new business models and start delivering a lot of services that in the past they were not able to do because connectivity was not there.
And what does BT have in the innovation pipeline that will support the automotive industry of the future?
I mean, future depends what we mean by future, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow is already future. So what BT has in the pipeline is obviously we look at the 5 trends that we see in the auto industry. The 5 trends being obviously what we call the connected car. I would like to expand the scope and call it connected vehicle. It doesn't have to be a car, could be a bus, could be a truck, could be anything. Then there is the element of big data. So what do we do around the big data stuff? And so we are absolutely seeing innovation around the big data. Not the collection of the big data, but the analytics, the intelligence that you apply on top of big data. The other element that we see as a big trend is, like we call machine-to-machine connectivity, so where the car, as an example, becomes a device as any old hand device. Cloud computing is definitely a trend we see, and a trend where we are in. And any client which is in our network today is already able to benefit today from our cloud infrastructure. Looking to the future around cloud, we see people taking more and more benefits out of the cloud, creating new business models. So I can imagine you're starting to have consumerization of data in the cloud from a driver perspective. Drivers will want to have a different experience around CRM, so we will be able to handle that. And final trend we definitely see is all around the intelligent connectivity that will help all of this glue together. So around the smart city space. So we're seeing smart cities as one of the places where we will be able to play this quite well. Connected car being probably just the device that we will reach out to connect all the dots.
And a final question then, a bit more speculative than the others. What do you think, looking forward, say 10, 20, 30 years, a generation, what's a car going to look like? I don't mean what is it physically going to look like, I mean what will it do, what will it be?
Well, I think the notion of car will disappear. I think we'll be looking at mobility, where people will move around as data moves around and as cargo moves around. So mobility is going to be the next frontier.
Arching trend that is very relevant for the industry but also for us, and that's the fact that the automotive, the car, is becoming a device. Where the car has been just a construction, something that has transported people from A to B, has become a luxury object, it becomes more and more a device that's full of technology. And that obviously is at the core of what BT is doing.
We've been looking at various trends.
I can envisage, I wouldn't say 25, 30 years, I envisage in the next 5 years the autonomous vehicles will be out and it'll be the norm. It'll probably start with car sharing. It'll probably start with cargo deliveries, but the car of the future will definitely be, or the mobility of the future will definitely be about moving people around, managed by software.
Manuel, thank you.
Thank you for being here.